Thank you so much, Allie. And if I'm just going to test, I am coming through correctly. Okay,
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you. Well, again, thank you for having us. TC, thank you for having us. Richard, Allie, we greatly appreciate the opportunity to be here. I'm hoping that we're going to provide those on the virtual call with us today with some valuable information and some resources that if you can't use them, someone you know can use them, whether it's your family, your friends, or your coworker. But I'm going to start out first, just telling you just a little bit about the agency that Gigi and I are with, which is the Virginia Housing. And we were formerly known as VHDA, but we're now Virginia Housing. We are the state housing finance agency, and it is our mission to help Virginians obtain quality, affordable housing. That's our mission. And we do that by addressing housing barriers, those barriers faced by underserved individuals and families. That's the key priority for Virginia Housing. Again, some of you may know us as VHDA. Next slide. We were created by the Commonwealth of Virginia in 1972, and this year we are celebrating 50 years of supporting our mission. Yeah, we're self-supporting, we're a not-for-profit organization, so that's always good to know that we do not operate on state taxpayer dollars. Instead, we raise funds through the capital market. I won't get into the capital market because we can do a whole session on the capital market, and that's not what we're here for. But one thing that you want to know about the funds that we raise is that we definitely contribute a significant portion of our net revenues each year to help meet Virginia's most difficult housing needs. We operate under the direction of a board of commissioners that is composed of 11 members that are appointed by the governor of Virginia. And of course, we operate under the leadership of our chief executive officer, Susan Dewey. Next slide, Allie. Thank you. So our CEO leadership includes strategic initiatives that focus on many challenges of affordable housing, the disproportionate impact on African Americans and other underserved groups. We have what we call our HOPE initiative, which is comprised of associates from varying business units at Virginia Housing. We have like these in-depth discussions about current resources, programs, and also possibly some new resources and programs, all to address, again, housing challenges, barriers, obstacles, and solutions as well. So we want to say so that everyone benefits. That's why we have our little tag there, so everyone benefits. Virginia Housing believes that working together is extremely, extremely important. Allie, thank you. So public-private partnership means that we're working with local, regional, and other state agencies. This includes working with military installations, to train military service providers and provide consumer education to service members and their families. And I'm from Hampton Roads as well, so I know that we are a big population of military installations throughout Hampton Roads and military families. We work to provide financing for apartment communities and neighborhood revitalization with developers and, again, local government agencies and community service organizations. The picture that you guys are seeing here, and I think, Allie, if I can get you just to advance the slide one more time, because yeah, there you go. Thank you. This is a development over in Hampton, in the Phoebus area of Hampton. If you coming across that bridge and you take that first exit, you will see this brand new development. It's absolutely gorgeous. Just opened up this last year, in fact. We also support our nonprofit housing organizations, Virginia's network of HUD-approved housing counseling organizations. You'll hear us talk a little bit more about that. We help them with grants, some community outreach resources and staff training as well. And again, we work with lenders to offer our loan products to you guys for homeownership. And we educate realtors to be better informed about, the benefits of the services and products that we have to benefit first-time homebuyers. And Gigi was going to elaborate a little bit more about our homebuyer loans in just a moment. All right, so I'm going to come off the high horse. I love working for Virginia Housing. It's given me that opportunity to talk about what I love to talk about, which is empowering um, consumers to make those informed decisions. But I'm going to come off of that and I'm going to talk about I'm going to run through this, but I'm going to talk about some consumer resources for renters, resources for buyers, and resources for homeowners. We got a little bit of information we want to share with homeowners, fresh off the press, I should say. So, first, I do want to say our faith-based outreach, and that's what Gigi and I have been embarking on for a little bit here now. It's an initiative that includes, meeting with clergy and members of the congregation, to provide an overview of our resources that benefits everyone. Our presentation this evening will focus on resources developed by Virginia Housing and partnering resources as well. Again, I'm so big on empowering consumers, with that knowledge, again, making that informed decisions. I can't say that too many times. All right, so I want to first I'll take a look at overcoming rental obstacles, but I'm going to talk a little bit about the obstacles, but I'm going to talk about some available resources as well. So Allie, the next slide for me. Thank you. So when we talk about rental resources, Virginia Housing, we offer a very in-depth, consumer-friendly resource we titled How to Become a Successful Renter. And why I say consumer-friendly is because if you've ever gone out there and you try to read some of these laws and acts and I think about the Virginia Landlord Tenant Act, it's heavy reading. It's heavy reading. So what we've done is we've taken it so that we get to the core of some of the things that you guys need to know as renters. So this curriculum covers tenants' rights and responsibilities, the laws and regulations, misunderstandings, challenges, barriers, landlord-tenant issues, fair housing, and it covers scams. So it's a lot of information packed in this resource. If you're renting for the very first time, or you're an existing renter, or your tenant making that decision to vacate, or you're being asked to vacate, knowing your rights, knowing those laws, knowing the protections that are offered by Virginia Fair Housing Act can make many of those obstacles avoidable. And that's why you really need to know the resources that are available for you out there. Allie, the next slide. So how to be a successful renter is 9 chapters. It provides detailed information to help renters determine if they are financially ready to rent. That's the first thing. It also talks about how credit impacts renting. It's some information in about finding that rental, the application process, understanding that lease agreement, the security deposit, and then life as a renter, housekeeping, maintenance, repairs. And what I always say is so important is terminating that lease agreement the right way, because we all want to get back our security deposit. Okay, so again, 9 chapters. Allie? So that's the curriculum. I want to let you know that we have this curriculum available as a free downloadable ebook. One of my favorite ways to gain information is just get on my tablet, get on my phone, download it, and start reading some information. But we also have a free access to the curriculum online. So this is a opportunity. If you want to, you can download it. It's free. It's a course. You can take it. You can test your understanding of each of the chapters with a quiz later on. But it's a great way to learn about the information as well. Great way to, if you've got those those children, those that are now young adults getting ready to go out there to rent for the first time, this is that read for them so they won't get themselves in trouble and maybe they won't come back home, So, it's always good. The rental education resources are also available in like quick information, video tutorials, those quick summaries, no more than 5 to 8 minutes, just reading and getting some of that key information in. But we also have some recorded podcasts as well that you can download those free, and they feature some housing industry professionals from like DPOR and the Central Virginia Law. We had one of the attorneys that helped us with some podcasts there as well. But we collaborated with CBS6 for this series of recorded podcasts. But again, good, quick information. We call that our welcome home site. And as you can see, and Richard, I hope I'm not going too fast here, but there are some links here that I put into the presentation. If you want to cut, copy, and paste those into the chat room, feel free. But we'll talk about some other resources we have for you later. So finding a place to rent is sometimes a big obstacle for many. So Virginia Housing, we sponsor the virginiahousingsearch.com site. This is a housing search site. It is free as well. It's a resource that is available to both renters and landlords. So for those that are searching to find a place to rent, this site lists properties throughout Virginia. And one of the things that I did in preparation for this evening session is I went on the site and I searched for rental properties in Norfolk, and 157 properties came up. Okay. And what's good about this site is that if you go to the Finding Housing tab, yes, Find Housing tab, there's a filter there that will help you, sort and, find what more what you're looking for. So you don't have to go through all 157, but I just wanted to let you know that there was 157 properties that are listed just in the Norfolk area alone. And then the site as well, it lists the list for each of the listings that come up will provide the number of bedrooms, the number of bathrooms, and some of the other amenities as well. So what we're doing is we're asking landlords, whether it's a single landlord with a home to rent or it's a large property development, to post their available properties, through this site. And again, it's a statewide site. But one of the things I want you guys to know is that Virginia Housing sponsors it in partnership with I believe it's called Emphasis Software, yes, and a nonprofit called Social Serve. So they're actually monitoring this site. So we want to make sure that we don't have the slum landlords on there, and that the information is accurate to you guys as well. So they're constantly reviewing it. They're approving. The landlords just can't post. They post and then they have to, there's someone that's viewing that before they actually make it live for you individuals to see, so that we know that this is a legit property and there's no scam at all. So I do want to let you guys know that.
Hey, Ladonna, we have a quick question from the chat. Does this list include Section 8?
It does. Great question. It does. And we have, made some real concerted efforts to have those that accepts housing choice vouchers. And as you know, the law kind of changed now as far as accepting housing choice vouchers. But either way, we definitely encourage them to post on this site. And so if you see a property listed there, it usually will say that it accepts rental assistance. Or even sometimes the properties are project-based subsidy, and so there is subsidy attached with the property as well. So they'll let you know that as well. Thank you. Any other question, Allie? All right, great. Thank you. Okay, so one of the things, resources I also want to let you guys know about is 2 accessibility grants that Virginia Housing has as well. We love to give away money, right, Gigi? We just love to give away money at Virginia Housing. So we have what we call our rental unit accessibility modification grant. I know that's a lot. Everybody loves acronyms. We call it RUMA. Okay. So Virginia Housing offers this accessibility grant to eligible people with disabilities who are renting their homes. And this is typically unheard of because you're going to give us money to modify a rental unit where we're going to work with the landlord. So we have representatives that will work with the landlord, and you'll be surprised that many landlords do not mind us coming in and doing these modifications. It actually is better for them when they get ready to re-rent the unit to say we have a unit that is accessible. And so we're paying for it all. So in a lot of cases, they don't mind doing it. So applicants can receive up to $8,000, and this recently changed. And I remember Gigi and I doing this earlier this year, and it was $6,000. And now Virginia Housing says, no, that's not enough. We're going to give $8,000. So we're great about that. But again, you can use that $8,000 to install ramps, grab bars, other modifications. We want to make the home easier to navigate for those with disabilities. And here's the thing, guys, it's not a loan. So there's no repayment ever needed at all. Okay. No loan. Okay. So if you know of anybody that is in need, again, maybe of a ramp or, a railings or anything like that, please pass this information on to them.
We do have a couple of questions.
Okay. Go right ahead.
So the first one that came in is, in rental, how do you get renter's insurance without having to credit check, or is that possible?
Okay, say that again for me.
Surely. In rental, how do you get renter's insurance without having to do a credit check, or is that possible?
So that's a kind of a completely different topic here. I don't know if there's any insurance company that's going to issue you renter's insurance without doing a credit check. Shawnee, I know you're on mute, but I know that's a little bit sometimes questions that you get as well. Do you know of any insurance companies that will actually provide you renter's insurance without doing a credit check? And Shawnee, you're on mute. Okay, I see she's still on mute, but okay.
Ladonna, that's it. Ladonna, that's a no.
That's a no. Okay, that's what I thought. Thanks, Shawnee. So unfortunately, it sounds like that's an issue, an obstacle that someone has faced. But unfortunately, credit, it rears its ugly head in a lot of things that we do, and that's the insurance company's way of knowing that they feel somewhat less risk, I should say, is by doing the credit check. Allie?
Okay, thank you, Ladonna. Another question that popped in, does it include walk-in showers?
If you can do it with the $8,000, yes. Okay, that's going to be the challenge, was doing it with $8,000 for a walk-in shower.
Okay, and then the last question right now in the chat is, does it benefit us in a rent-to-own situation?
Yes, it does. Okay, as long as, because even in the rent-to-own situation, you still technically do not own the home fully yet. So it still is primarily the landlord. So they will still work with that landlord to make sure that it is okay to go in and do these modifications. But again, we don't find too many landlords that say no to that. Okay.
Thank you. That's all the questions in the chat right now.
Okay, great. All right, so I want to talk about the second accessibility grant, and we call that granting freedom. Okay, and granting freedom, same thing. It's a grant, free money, again, never needs to be paid back, up to $8,000. But in this case, it is for our disabled veterans and service members who have sustained a line of duty injury resulting in a service connection disability. So in this case, anyone coming in for granting freedom would actually apply through the Virginia Department of Veterans Services. Okay, so we have partnered with them to make this program available to our military. Again, I'm from Hampton Roads. I know that we have quite a few military in the area, so if you guys know anyone, please spread the word about that. And want to talk about rent assistance, because we know that many have been hit very hard. The Housing Choice Voucher Program, I did hear someone mention that earlier. Of course, this is a program that's been around for quite some time to provide decent, affordable housing to um, very low to low income individuals and families. I wanted to get that right. But this also includes people with disabilities and seniors as well. So Virginia Housing is authorized to administer vouchers in all areas of the state, but we are not statewide. Okay. And the reason I say that is because this is the federal voucher program. We administer about 19% of it for the state of Virginia, the Commonwealth of Virginia, but there are other housing choice voucher administrators, and typically that's your local housing authorities, some nonprofits as well. So that's always some rent assistance program there as well. Having come from a housing authority, I know sometimes it's difficult to get the vouchers, but it's always worth it if you can get on that waiting list and get called for the voucher program. And lastly, before I turn it over to Gigi, I want to talk about a rental assistance program that some of you may have heard about, some of you may not have heard about, but it was called the Virginia Rent Relief Program, RRP. RRP provides funds to assist with rent payments. Okay, so again, we've been hit pretty hard, with this pandemic, with individuals, losing their jobs or reduce incomes, or two family income, and then one family, the one person lost their jobs, and so now you're down to one income in the family. So we know we've been hit hard, and this is a great program that will pay that back rent for you. Okay, so the program is designed to support and ensure housing stability across the Commonwealth, during this, Corona pandemic. So depending on availability of funds, the program has been out there for quite some time now, but they still have some money left, okay? And your need, the program, it may provide financial assistance all the way back to April 1st of 2020. Okay, so if you've got some delinquent payments there, or you're delinquent right now, and you just don't have any way, please, there's another link there I'm providing you. It's dhcd.virginia.gov/RRP. Okay, again, here's a good one. I'm hoping everybody's listening. This assistance does not have to be repaid. Okay, I love free money. I love free anything, but free money is always better too, right, TC? Free money. Okay, so I know I've given a lot of resources. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'm going to turn it over to Gigi, and she's going to talk to you guys a little bit more about some obstacles and resources for buyers. Gigi?
Thank you, Ladonna. And I just want to piggyback on you when you were speaking about the rental assistance program. Virginia has been ranked one of the top states throughout the nation who has administered those funds. So if you have any family or friends that need any rental assistance, that they have been impacted by COVID, please, just don't think automatically that you might not qualify. Reach out to DHCD to see if you are eligible for those funds, because those funds are out there for individuals who need assistance that were impacted by COVID. Thank you. So Ladonna has spoken about overcoming obstacles of becoming a renter. So after you've rented for a while, you want to go to the next phase in your life. You want to be a homeowner. So I'm going to speak about overcoming homebuyer obstacles and available resources for homebuyers. Next slide. So Virginia Housing has developed a HUD-approved curriculum to provide home buyers with the steps to home ownership. And in the curriculum, it includes tips to making the right decisions when you're going through the home buying process, alerts, what to look out for, making sure you're making those right decisions. Examples, it gives you scenarios of what you might come across during the home buying process, links to provide you additional resources that you might need, forms to make you familiarize yourself with types of documents you'll come across during the home buying process. And also there will be a short quiz after each section. And after you have completed the curriculum, then you will receive a certificate of completion that will be good for 2 years. Next slide. So to help consumers make financially sound and informed decisions for home buying, the curriculum, I'm sorry. Let me see. So the home buyer education resources, the course is is an in-person course. So we have the classes 2 ways. You have in-person classes, and the class is about approximately 6.5 hours for that class. It's taught by housing professionals. And when I'm talking about housing professionals, I'm talking about HUD counselors, real estate agencies, home inspectors, and lenders. They are housing professionals that will tell you about the whole home buying process. And it also gives you the opportunity to ask questions. If you're unavailable to go to an in-person class, then you will also be able to take that class online. And the online course, you're able to take it at your own pace. And it's about 8 to 10 hours, and it's available 24/7. And again, after you complete the course online, then again, there will be a quiz. And after you complete the quiz and complete it with a passing score, then you will receive a certificate of completion. Next slide. So the first time home buyer loan programs that we have at Virginia Housing, we have these programs for our mission. Virginia Housing mission, as Ladonna mentioned earlier, is to help low and middle income Virginians qualify for affordable mortgages to prevent foreclosure against borrowers. We do this by issuing our mortgages that would help you pursue your goal of homeownership, because hey, that is the American dream. I believe it still is. The mortgage programs we offer to pursue this are FHA loans, USDA loans, if you're buying in a rural area, VA loans, if you're a veteran, and a plus second mortgage. So to give you a little bit more information, I'm just going to speak briefly about our loan programs, because on the next session, when I'll be coming back on February 17th, I'll go a little bit more detail about our programs. But for our FHA loans, it's a 96.5% loan, which means you would only have to come to closing with 3.5% down payment. And our minimum credit score for that loan is a 620. Our USDA loans, that's a type of loan if you're purchasing in a rural area, and our minimum credit score for that is a 620. Our VA loan, of course, you would have to be a veteran, and that's 100% financing with no down payment, just like the USDA loan. And our minimum score is a 620 for that. So if you've heard, the myths where you have to have a 700 credit score in order to become a homeowner, as you can see, Virginia Housing, we have loans where you can have a minimum score of 620. And to top that, we offer a plus second mortgage. So we offer an additional mortgage that we will assist with your down payment, which means you can get up to 105% loan. That means we can assist you with the down payment and closing costs. So you can combine that plus second mortgage with our FHA loans or our conventional loans. And as you can see with our conventional loans, we offer 2 types of conventional loans, one with a reduced mortgage insurance of $640 and one with no mortgage insurance at all for $660. Now, in order for you to determine if you are eligible and you qualify for these loan programs, you would have to go to one of our approved lenders like Tidewater Home Funding. Our lenders are the ones that originate these loans. So you would not have to contact Virginia Housing to determine if you're eligible, if you're qualified. You would be able to go to one of our approved lenders, and they would determine if you are qualified for a Virginia Housing loan. Next slide. Now at Virginia Housing, we also offer specialty programs. So we offer loan programs, and that's what differentiates us from lenders. Our specialty programs that we offer a grant program. So our grant program, I already talked about the loan programs that we have, but we have a down payment assistance grant. So if you're ready to become a homeowner and you don't have the down payment, or let's just say if you do have the down payment, but you don't want to use those funds to you don't want to use those funds to purchase your house, you can keep those funds in the bank. And at Virginia Housing, we're able to give you a 2 or 2.5% down payment of the sales price. And guess what? That down payment is free. It's free money. It's a gift. You do not have to pay it back like that plus second mortgage. It's free money. So you can get a loan with a minimum score of a 620, as well as get a free gift, free money to assist you with your down payment. And we also have a grant in as a closing cost assistance grant. And that closing cost assistance grant can be paired with a VA loan or a USDA loan, because those loans are at 100%. So if the seller is unable to help you with any of those closing costs, because there are closing costs when you purchase a house, at Virginia Housing, if you get a VA or USDA loan, we're able to give you up to 2% of the sales price to go towards your closing costs. One of our other specialty programs that we offer at Virginia Housing is a mortgage credit certificate. It's also known as an MCC. And what this is a dollar for dollar tax credit. And the way that it is, the mortgage credit certificate is the certificate that is issued that allows the home buyer to claim a dollar for dollar tax credit during a given year. So with this, that means every time you file your taxes, you're able to use this tax credit. And the MCC credit is a rate of 10%. So the interest that you will be paying on your mortgage each year, 10% of that you will be able to claim as a credit, and the remaining 90% you'll still be able to use as a deduction. So that means that's more money in your pocket and less money that you would have to give Uncle Sam. And this MCC is good for the life of the mortgage. So as long as you live in the home as your primary residence, you're able to take advantage of this tax credit. I always compare this tax credit to a child tax credit. They're good, but they do go away based on the age of your child or your income. The great thing about the MCC, as long as you own a house and you live in that house as your primary residence, you will be able to take advantage of that 10% tax credit. And everyone, it's just that time of year to file your taxes, and we don't want to give Uncle Sam all of our money. So if there's a way where you can save money, if you're ready to purchase that house, you want to make sure you get that MCC. And lastly,
I'm sorry, Gigi, we have a quick question in the chat.
Yes.
Are these specialty programs only for first-time buyers?
Yes. So our specialty programs, you would have to be a first-time buyer, a home buyer. And Virginia Housing, we define a first-time home buyer as anyone who has not owned a house within the last 3 years as their primary resident and has lived in the house as their primary residence. So let me tell you, for an example, let's just say if you owned a house for the last 3 years and you didn't live in it, you were renting somewhere else. Let's just say you moved from another state, you moved to Virginia, you were unable to sell that house in another state. But if you've been renting for the last 3 years, you are considered a first-time home buyer. So I'm not saying you can't own property and be considered a first-time home buyer, but you could not live in that property within the last 3 years as your primary residence. Are there any other questions, Allie?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. So lastly, one of our other specialty programs is sponsoring partnerships and revitalizing communities called SPARC. And I know LaShawn is going to talk a little bit more detail about our SPARC program. But what SPARC is a special allocation of funding made to local governments, nonprofits, and housing industry partners to support special housing needs. And one of those local partners is like Norfolk Redevelopment Housing Authority. So we have awarded Norfolk Redevelopment Housing Authority SPARC funds. SPARC is a 1% reduction of rate at no additional cost. So the home buyer is able to receive a 1% rate or 1% reduction of Virginia Housing initial rate. So let's say, for an example, if our Virginia Housing, if your FHA interest rate is going to be 3.5%, you will receive a 1% rate reduction if you're eligible for those SPARC funds, and that means your final rate would be at 2.5%. That reduction of interest rate is available with all of Virginia housing programs. And again, you would have to be a first-time home buyer in order to receive that. Any questions on that?
We do have one other question.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask to unmute and lower your hand. What's your question?
Okay, I think I did it right.
Yes.
What if your spouse owns a home, but you are a first-time buyer? Do you qualify as a first-time buyer or no?
Yes. So if your spouse owns a house, and if you're a first-time home buyer, you would be able to purchase a house with your name on it. Your spouse would not be able to be on the mortgage because your spouse is not a first-time home buyer, but you would be considered a first-time home buyer.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Not that I see, so I'll go into the next slide.
Thank you, Allie. So let's talk about overcoming obstacles that's available for resources for existing homeowners. So you've rented, you've purchased, you've rented, you've gone to that phase, you've bought a house, you're a homeowner now. So what obstacles do homeowners have? So at Virginia Housing, we want to be there from the beginning to the end with our home buyers. And one thing I do want to say, I did not mention that the lenders do originate all of our loans. So you don't have to go to Virginia Housing to get your loan originated. But once you close on that mortgage, then that mortgage would be serviced by Virginia Housing for the life of your loan, which means your loan will not be sold anywhere else. You will not get a letter in the mail indicating this loan is now going to be sold, you're going to be serviced by another lender. At Virginia Housing, we will service that loan for the life of the loan. So that's why we're able to provide these additional resources for existing homeowners. So at Virginia Housing, we have created a series of post-purchase video tutorials for new homeowners. To date, the series includes 5 topics for first-time homeowners to typically need to know within the first year of home ownership. The topics are intended to ensure success as homeowners. So about how financial decisions impact home ownership and important tips to consider, creating a budget after buyers close on their loan, and adding the expenses because you've saved to purchase that house, but after you close on that loan, you still want to be able to save and still have a budget because you're going to have additional expenses as a homeowner. Preparing for routine maintenance, that's why you have to create a budget because you're going to have maintenance as a homeowner, and the purpose of an escrow account and how to annually analysis affect the mortgage payment, and providing a better understanding of the refinance process and the true cost to refinance. Because as soon as you close on that loan, you're going to get a lot of mail in from other lenders, other banks indicating, hey, are you ready to refinance? So you need to know when is a good time for me to refinance. So with our post-purchase video tutorials, we're able to assist you with that. Next slide. And lastly, Ladonna ended her presentation about rent relief. Well, I'm going to end my presentation in reference to mortgage assistance. So in the state of Virginia, we're now able to assist Virginia homeowners that have been impacted through COVID. So just like we are assisting renters that have been impacted through COVID, Virginia has released a Virginia Mortgage Relief Program. And this Virginia Mortgage Relief Program is available to anyone who is a homeowner who has been affected by COVID. They've had any type of financial hardship that could include increase in living expenses, childcare, change in household size, job loss, or reduction in income. So let me just give you an example. Let's just say if you're a homeowner and you didn't lose your job, but let's just say if you had a child who was living outside of the house, they were impacted by COVID, and then they had to move back in the house with you. You were impacted by COVID because your expenses have been increased. So that's an example. So just as I mentioned, this is a program that was just started in the state of Virginia last year. It is administered by another company. So in order to get more information about if you are eligible for the Virginia Mortgage Relief Program, please go to the website virginiamortgagerelief.com to get additional information, and it will definitely tell you if you are eligible for the program. Just like the renter relief program, just don't assume automatically I might not qualify for the program. Go to the link, see if you're eligible, call them to determine if you are eligible for the program. And again, you do not have to have an existing mortgage with Virginia Housing to determine if you are eligible for this program. You can have a mortgage with anyone to be eligible for this program. Any questions? All right. So I'm going to turn it over to LaShawn.
Okay, I think as always, I did something to my screen. I just see people. I don't see.
So the host has completely lost internet. She's trying to reconnect right now.
Oh, so it's not me. Okay.
No, ma'am, it's not just you.
Okay. I thought I did something wrong.
Right. So I tell you what, ladies, so far this has been awesome. Gigi, I wish I could get some of that mortgage credit certification. I was like, oh yeah.
I know.
I need one of those.
Now
yeah,
that
really
interest
good.
rate reduction, TC, you know,
Yeah.
really, I mean, if the going interest rate is like 3.5 and you can get that SPARC, it'll reduce it down to 2.5.
Yeah, this is really good.
Hey, Gigi, what's the income requirements for the COVID? Because I know a lot of people have been impacted by that, especially with kids coming home.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know offhand. Let me just see. Wait a minute.
Are you referring to the mortgage?
Virginia mortgage relief?
Yeah, household income.
As far as I know, there is none. I was just on a call with them today.
Well, it says applicant household must meet certain maximum income restrictions. I don't know offhand what the income restrictions are. I mean, but one great thing about the Virginia Mortgage Relief Program is just not if you're just late on your mortgage. It will assist you with your homeowner's insurance, flood insurance, mortgage insurance, homeowners association fees, condo fees, property taxes.
Yep.
I mean, we have a lot of free money that's available in the state of Virginia, and you don't have to pay this money back as well. So
like I was saying, Gigi and TC, I was on a call today with the administrators of the mortgage relief program, and I made some notes just because I knew that we were going to be having this and wanted you guys to get this information again, hot off the press. But households could be eligible up to $30,000 in back mortgage payments or 20 months of payments. Yeah. They can apply directly online. So there's no having to actually go into a physical location, even though they will have some physical locations, you can apply directly online. The delinquency payments can go as far back as January 21st, 2020. Okay. From what they were saying when they were determining like the maximum per household, when they were last year, they were showing that people became delinquent. The average delinquent amount was $16,000. So it's easy to get up there really quick when you're talking about a mortgage payment. So yeah, they have the online, they have a call center. So when you go to that link, you'll find a call center if you want more information. The call center is Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Okay, we were killing time there, but LaShawn, you're on.
Hey, thank you guys for having me on. Again, I'm LaShawn Forts. I'm with Norfolk Redevelopment Housing. I see quite a few familiar names who came in the chat room. So we're going to talk about, a couple of things, programs that we have specific to the city of Norfolk. You want to advance that slide? Okay, home that we have been around since 2002. We consider ourselves a one-stop shop. I've been managing the program since that time. And what we do is we help, Norfolk residents and residents who want to move to Norfolk to achieve home ownership. You know, our mission is to prepare you for the home buying process through education and access to resources. VHDA is one of our biggest partners. We get a lot of funding from VHDA, so I want to give you guys kudos for that. And Ladonna and Gigi and I have been working together probably since 2002. So thanks again. Okay.
LaShawn, we do have a question in chat. It's are you able to
Yeah.
purchase new construction with these programs? Actually, I think that might have been for the previous one.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay. We want to advance the slide. Okay, some of our services, you know, grant source identification, we have comprehensive credit counseling. You know, one of the obstacles we have, you know, most people have is credit savings. Individualized action plan, we sit down with the client, we talk about what it is that you need, what are your obstacles, what are your barriers, we put an action plan together and try to hold you accountable for that and give you 3 steps, you know, at a time to do that. You know, we have lenders that we work with, mostly VHDA approved or Virginia Housing. I have to get used to that. With obtaining a mortgage and pre-approval letter. We have financial literacy, pre-purchase homebuyer counseling. And we also do the first-time homebuyers classes. So we have not done them since COVID. We're still kind of shut down. So we've been doing counseling via, you know, phone. And then we also have post-purchase homebuyer counseling. Want to advance the slide? Okay, what is SPARC? Okay, because that was a big question. We received a $6.8 million allocation of SPARC. We've been kind of hoarding that money for our clients and Norfolk residents, and we made it specifically for our Norfolk residents. It reduces that loan by 1%. This to kind of give you an idea, you know, on a $255,000 loan, that's a difference of 111 payment going from 3.5 to 2.5, which can save you roughly about $42,000, you know, over the life of the loan. So that's huge to be able to help you also qualify for more. I'm not sure if anybody's been out there looking, but the market is really tight, not, you know, very low inventory, but that rate reduction can, 1, help you get something more affordable, or 2, you know, push you up a little bit more to help you afford more house. You must live in the city of Norfolk. You must attend either online class or in person. The biggest thing is coming through the home buyer pre-purchase counseling. Our goal is long-term sustainability. You know, we want you to be able to maintain that house. So we consider pre-purchase counseling, you know, very important. And again, we received $6.8 million of SPARC. So it is available on first come, first serve until we run out of the money. Okay, want to advance? Okay, the home program.
In the chat, somebody asked, is this still for first-time home buyers?
It is for first-time home buyers. Most of our programs is for first-time home buyers. First-time home buyer have not owned within the last 3 years, you know, and or you can be a displaced homemaker. Okay, so we have the home program, and the home program is a down payment and closing cost assistance for up to $40,000, and you can purchase anywhere in the city of Norfolk. It's a second deed of trust, meaning a second loan, but you never make payments on it. You know, so it disappears 1/10 each year. So if you sold the house in a 5th year, because I get that question a lot, do I have to stay here for the first all 10 years? So if you sold it in a 5th year, you owe us $20,000 back, and you keep $20,000. If you stay there the full 10 years, then you have that $40,000 in equity in your home, and you don't owe us anything back. Say if you sold the house and it depreciated in some kind of way, then we don't make you pay the money back if you sold it prior to the 10-year forgivable period. Okay, now with the $40,000, you have to be 80% of the area median income or below, and that's based off of family size. And I have a slide at the end, and we can kind of go over and look at those numbers. You know, so that is income, you know, based and restricted. Ali, you want to advance that slide? Okay. Home with Norfolk is we partner with the city. We found that workforce housing, meaning the middle, there was never anything for workforce housing. So the city had some money, and they identified 3 neighborhoods that they wanted to assist. and that's Ingleside, Monticello Village, and Oakdale Farms. So you can actually be 80% to 120% of the area median income. And we wanted to make sure our teachers, police officers, city employees, had some type of access to the grant. That's also a 10-year forgivable loan as well, and disappears 1/10 each year. If you sell it within the 5th year, you owe, half back. So again, that's only in 3 identified neighborhoods: Ingleside, Monticello Village, and Oakdale Farms. Also, the city has rehab money as well. If you currently live in those areas, that they can give you funding for as well. I want to advance that slide. All right, so income guidelines for down payment and closing costs. So for a family of 1 to qualify for the home program, you cannot exceed $47,350. For a family of 2, that's $54,100. But then if you look at, that is not correct, 20%. She put that on there wrong and I didn't catch it. So there is a higher income limit, for the area, for the AMI, and unfortunately, that didn't get put up there. She kind of ran the numbers down. But it's a higher number for the AMI to allow you to be able to purchase more house. And that's for the Home at Norfolk program in the 3 identified communities. Now, the SPARC, you just have to qualify under BHDA's income limits. And they have that published on their website. So any questions about SPARC, $40,000 down payment, or the $20,000 payment?
Yep, there is one question in the chat that says, is there a minimum income for this?
There is a minimum income for all programs. So there's a minimum and a maximum that you cannot exceed. And we do have that on the website at www.nrha.us.